By now, we have all heard what has happened to Beau DeMayo. We heard that he was fired months ago for misconduct, sexual misconduct, and we're going to get into that in a second. And then we heard just last night that he was taken off as being credited for season 2 of the upcoming season 2 of X-Men 97 for a post that he made just this past June. This post, to be accurate here, we're talking about this sexual post. I made a video just earlier today about this ridiculous sexual post. Like, why even post this after being fired for sexual misconduct, to then post a post like this? What do you expect to have happen? Well, there's an update. Marvel actually commented on this after being reached out to. They stated, Mr. DeMayo was terminated in March 2024 following an internal investigation. Given the egregious nature of the findings, they're saying, given the egregious nature of the findings, we severed ties with him immediately. He has no further affiliation with Marvel. That's how bad these claims are. This is how bad this misconduct was. That's crazy, okay? Like, the people need to realize that are standing up with Beau DeMayo here is there's something that was so bad that he got fired, and neither party has talked about it up until this point. Now, DeMayo is sitting here saying that he's going to reveal all. He's going to reveal all. Well, should he though? Because now we're getting word from Jeff Snyder from the Insider that he was reportedly sent inappropriate in various states of undress to several young male staffers, striking sexually suggestive hero poses that could be used as inspiration for the show. So he was sending photos of himself, sexually inspired poses, suggestive hero poses of himself as inspiration for the show. Like, come on. Like, are you serious? Does he realize that's not okay? That's just not okay. No matter where you work in an industry like this, it's not okay. Jeff Snyder also reports an incident that involved DeMayo groping an assistant on multiple occasions, and that he was both emotionally and physically abusive to staffers. So let's kind of look at this here, because Jeff Snyder posted online stating last night that he had this information, that he reached out to both DeMayo's team as well as Marvel's team to comment before he put this information out. According to him, nobody has said anything to him. He gave them 12 hours to respond. There was no response, so he put this information out. Now, whether it's accurate or not, Jeff Snyder put this information out. So we got to take this with a grain of salt. But let's say, because since March, since DeMayo's been fired, all that's been talked about is misconduct, sexual misconduct. And now, straight from Marvel's mouth, straight from their mouth, egregious nature of findings. Egregious. And here we sit now finding this out, which is egregious. This is terrible. Sending lewd photos and heroic hero poses for inspiration. Like, that's just disgusting, dude. Like, it's disgusting. I said this on my previous video about this situation, is when it comes to this community, why is everything always sexualized? Why is it when it comes to pride, it's always sexualized? Why can't you just do things and be proud of who you are with your clothes on? And that's the problem with this. He He posted this during Pride Month, okay? And I said this before. You're fired for sexual misconduct. That is what you're fired for. And then you post something like this that is connected directly to the IP that you were fired from. And I'm not going to sit here and say that Disney is innocent and Disney brand and all their subsidiaries are completely innocent and perfectly fine and angels. They're not. They have their skeletons in their closet. But in this matter here, they had every right to take his name off of this at this point. Because there was no reason for him to do this. Fan art or not, after the claims that are coming out from him or about him from what happened, this is absurd. But you would think it ends there, but it doesn't. It doesn't end there. Because DeMayo has a lawyer. Brian Friedman has responded to Marvel's statement. That's right. He goes, as we will explain through detailed examples, which we will roll out in detail one by one, Disney's model is very clear and repetitive illegal pattern. Once it gets challenged or exposed, the gaslighting and the redirection of the blame toward anyone willing to tell the truth starts through an international, well-oiled publicity machine. Again, I am not sitting here saying that Disney is, not to be held to be accountable for anything ever. Like, they're to be blamed for a lot of stuff that has happened in the past. Absolutely. Look at the Gina Carano situation. That was absurd, and they need to be held accountable and held responsible for all of that. And there very well could be, within this case here, if this becomes a case, they could very well be held accountable and held liable for some things here as well. But if the rumors are true, if what Jeff Snyder has said is true, if Beau DeMayo was fired for what was said, for what Jeff Snyder said, and then his name is taken off of season 2 because of that post, it all makes sense. It all makes sense. And I don't understand why there's an outcry or even support for Beau DeMayo at this point. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about this whole situation? It's going to continue. This kind of stuff is just going to continue. The more and more we allow this type of stuff to blossom in this country, in this world, the more this type of stuff is going to happen. And I think people need to understand that. And I say this all the time. We need to get God back in everything. We need to get God back in our lives, because that's what is more important than all of this. That's more important than the superhero stuff. It's more important than, throwing your sexual pride into a month. But those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments below. With all that said, though, I'll talk with all of you later.